Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So here we have a Honda Odyssey, and you can see we got some, looks pretty good on the bottom. You can see there's oxidation on the top. This is actually a headlight that I did, I think it's going on maybe 2 years now. You can see all this on the bottom is okay, but it's just starting to hit where the sun hits it the most. So we're just going to hit it with a 400, get all that old clear removed, and then hit it with a 6 before applying the clear coat. So this is what it looks like when it starts to oxidize after applying the clear coat. Not super terrible, no micro cracking or nothing, it's just starting to haze up. So, and I believe this customer drives about an hour to and from work, so for her it's very important to make sure that she's keeping it clean. But doesn't look bad, doesn't look terrible. She could still get some time out of it. It's not hindering any light coming out just yet, but she does have the warranty, so she's good to go. And for me, it's not going to take me too long to do this since all the old stuff is already removed, all the old clear coat. So for me, it's a fairly quick job. I think I had somebody in the comment section ask me, what does it look like whenever it's beginning to oxidize, or one that I have to do over again. And right after I read that comment, I got this call. She called me and just said, hey, the headlights are starting to get a little hazy. And again, normally customers will call me when it's like really bad, like you can't see out of the light or anything. But she's getting it a little early, which is good. Come on, work with me here. So this is my first job of the day. I think it's like maybe 7:30 on the dot right now. And we're supposed to have quite a bit of rain coming in. So I got 4 on the docket today, and I'm hoping to get everything done as soon as possible. The last thing I want, well, this is actually a good way for me to show you guys what Florida usually looks like. You can see over here it's all like dark and gray, and then over here it's like nice and beautiful. So the rain is supposed to be all north, so I'm hoping it stays north, because I was going to do a mass text to my customers and say, hey, unfortunately it's starting to get pretty bad out. Customers are pretty understanding when it comes to rescheduling, thank God. It's not like rescheduling a surgery or fixing a vehicle, something that has to be done as soon as possible, something that, you know, they're okay with rescheduling. They're very understanding. And some advice, if you are in the business and you are needing to reschedule a customer, you can just tell them that you are trying to give them the best headlight restoration possible, and factoring or rain can cause some issues with it. And they're usually, I had one customer, and that was recently, kind of give me some lip on it, on having to reschedule. This was one of those super social customers that like text all the time, and it was to the point where I had to just give them a refund and say, hey, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to find somebody else to do it. I'll give you a little backstory on it. So I did the restoration, and it didn't come out great because the customer, I guess, had it waxed before, and it came out good on like the top. There was just one small spot that was like super, like not super foggy, but just foggy enough to where I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna have to come back and redo this. It was very weird because I completely sanded the headlight down, It was looking good, looking like they usually look before I spray them. And I sprayed it, and there was just a little spot that looked like I didn't sand it all the way, but I know I did. So I'm not exactly sure what happened with it. So I explained to him, I said, hey, I don't know what happened with this, but I'm gonna have to reschedule you and redo it. And this was actually a 2K Clear vehicle. The customer had 2K Clear on it. So it was a lot of work in the beginning. So I don't know if maybe that played a factor or not. Anyway, told the customer, I said, hey, I'm gonna have to redo this. Let me look at my schedule and see where I can fit you in. And they were perfectly fine. They're like, all right, yeah, that's fine. So a day goes by, and I texted him. I said, hey, I can come in on Wednesday afternoon. He's like, yeah, that's fine. It started raining. So I messaged him. I waited to the day of. I usually wait as long as possible to have to reschedule a customer, because, as I said, with Florida weather, sometimes it clears up and everything's fine. So last thing I want to do is reschedule a customer that I didn't actually have to reschedule. So that's what I did. I waited till the day of, and I was like, hey, it looks like it's going to rain. I'm not going to be able to come out and do it. And they're like, all right, that's fine. So it's like, let me keep an eye on the radar, because it looks like it's going to be raining for quite some time now. So at that point, I had no idea when I can reschedule them, because I had already had to reschedule other customers. And then he reached out and he's like, hey, what's taking so long? I'm like, hey, like, are you not looking outside? Like, there's been torrential downpour for the last 3 days, like, and it doesn't look like it's gonna clear up anytime soon. So I said I could schedule like maybe a week or two out. He's like, well, I really need to get this done. Doesn't really need to get it done. The headlight looked 10 times better than what it did before. And I was like, well, I don't know what you want me to do. You know, I apologize. I can't control the weather. So we went back and forth. And he was just, I realized that we were just going in circles. And I was just like, hey man, you're just gonna have to find somebody else to do it. So I refunded his money, and that was it. That was like the first customer I'd ever had to reschedule or had an issue with. And the worst part about it is that they got a free restoration, like, and a bad one at that. Like, the headlight, again, had like 2K Clear on it, so it was very, very difficult. So wasn't too happy about that, but because it was like my first time having an issue with the customers where I had to refund them. So I just kind of moved on from it. You know, you can't harp on, like, if you ever are venturing into this, usually the issues that you're going to have are with customers. I mean, aside from like micro cracking and things like that, you're not going to have too many issues with the headlight itself. It's really going to be the customer, because no matter what you do, you can't please everybody. And that's just how it is sometimes, unfortunately. But again, you're in a business. You're starting a business, so eventually there's going to be an issue. Eventually there's going to be something that's going to hit the fan. It's all about how you handle it. Lucky for us, our issues are relative. Like, if you're working, let's say you're a cement pouring company, if someone from that, employee from that calls and says, hey, we have a problem, that you should worry about. But if your employee from your headlight restoration business calls and says, hey, we have a problem, nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing is going to be super, super costly. I mean, unless they completely messed everything up, scratched the bumper, or something like that. Again, I've said it 1,000 times, guys, this job is not hard. It's really, really not. There's people out here acting like this is like surgery. It's really, really not. Very, very easy. It's one reason why I still do it. So I genuinely like restoring headlights. Like I have Hunter working with me, and then I got another guy that I'm gonna be training here soon, and to the point where I could potentially like slow down and just kind of man the helm, but I genuinely like being out here and doing my own thing, you know, because we are in the process of commercializing headlight restoration. That's what I want to do. Like my end goal is to be like a franchise, like franchise the brand out, because there's no businesses out there doing this. There are, don't get me wrong, I mean, you guys understand what I mean. There's no like commercial business out there, and there's enough business to where it could be kind of franchised out. It just takes a matter of time. It takes experience. You know, there's a lot of things that I have planned, and it's difficult to do it whenever I'm doing everything. Restorations, I'm doing all sorts of stuff. A little bit more on the top. So yeah, I would like absolutely love to be able to franchise this, because at least once a week I get asked if I'm a franchise because of how professional and everything looks and how professional that I am with the customers. So ever since I got asked that question, it's always been in the back of my mind, like, imagine like franchising this out. Like low overhead, pretty easy training. Yeah, much better. Pretty easy training, but there's just so many things that I want to do, guys. So many things that I'm working on right now. Just managing this itself is a full-time job. Like I want to get a location, like an actual like small shop, and have people come in there. Speaking of that, I can give a little advice. If you are looking to do that, to get like a location or like a business or something, you always want to try to do it around a used car lot or an auction or around other body shops. You want to be somewhere where it's very automotive driven, because that opens a lot of doors for you. Because we work with dealers, we work with a lot of mechanic shops, and it's a very, very good thing to consider when looking for a small shop. And when I say a small shop, I'm not talking about like a huge mechanic shop, you know, $5,000 or $6,000 a month. I'm talking like one of those little garages that are like maybe $600 or $700 a month. You don't need anything outrageous. That's good for my people up north. Like, I know obviously you got to build the business, but one thing that you do need to consider when you are building this business is that it is a business. A lot of people think that, let me just throw up a website and everybody will come up, you know, my phone will start going crazy. just like any business, if you're starting any business, you need some sort of advertising or marketing. And a lot of people forget that. The good thing about headlight restoration is that the startup costs are very, very low compared to other businesses. And you're saving a lot of money by just from that. Like, the operational costs are very low. Of course, that's relative. You know, if you're just now starting, operational costs might be, you know, $100 a month. But when you have a company and got multiple people working for you and you're doing a lot per day, you're looking closer, you know, could be 500 to 1,000. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever flat out stop doing headlight restoration. It's just too fun for me. It's too oddly satisfying. And then, like, whenever you're doing the customer's restoration, especially the really, really bad ones, and you restore it and they come out and they're like just cloud 9. That's with anything. I mean, think about a chef when someone says, "Oh my God, this is the best food I've ever had." You know, how do you think they feel when someone says that? I mean, for us, it's like, it's more so addressing a safety concern and kind of, you know, building value in the car, because you don't have to replace your headlights, you can just get them restored. But like, just that aspect of it, when customers are like super excited about it, that I absolutely love. And I will be switching to automotive tape here soon, because aside from Hunter, I could trust Hunter using blue tape, but new people, I don't trust them. So we're going to be switching to an automotive tape for a bit, or at least you'll probably see me start using it, because again, I'm trying to teach somebody. So whenever you are redoing these headlights, a good comparison would be doing a Honda Civic. Doing a Honda Civic. So Honda Civics are my #1 easiest headlight I could do. There's no other vehicle, actually maybe a Honda Pilot. Granted, a Honda Pilot's a little bit bigger, but there's no vehicle out there that's easier, in my opinion, than the Honda Civic. And redoing a headlight after applying the NextGen Clear coat is similar to that, doing a Honda Civic, because it's not like super thick. The hardening properties aren't like 2K clear, so you're not like sanding crazy amounts. It's fairly quick. So, some things that I'm working on the website, because as I said before, I am completely redoing the Start Restoring Headlights website. I want to offer more business solutions, meaning helping people with the web development, helping them make marketing strategies, helping them, like, supplying graphics for their postcards. Like, I really want to dive more into that, helping people with that aspect. So that's one reason why it's taking so long, but it will be worth it. And then for those of you who are not using the NextGen Clear coat, I am in talks with 3M to try to purchase like mass quantities of stuff that other people use in other methods, like the 3000 Trizac and other sanding discs. I don't even want to talk about that, because I mean, it's going good. Again, I'm just trying to, anytime you're trying to get like huge discounts for people, you have to buy stuff in like crazy bulk, and that's exactly what that is. You know, I have to purchase a lot at one time, but if I can pass the savings to you guys, then it's worth it. Because right now I think the Trizac is like, I think it's like 30 or 45 bucks for like 15 pads. But that sucks. That's expensive. Now, I never personally used the Trizac before, so I don't know how much the quality difference is. Again, I just sanded with a regular 3000 and then polished it out. But I don't know the difference between the Trizac, but that's apparently a hot one with everybody. But yeah, I'll be able to sell that or put that on the website for you guys, because again, that can add up pretty quickly. But I want to be able to offer I want to be able to do like packages for people too, like a complete starter kit that comes with everything that you need to get in the business. Microfibers, paper towels, spray bottles. As I said, I got a lot of stuff that I'm working on. It's a little exhausting, but I love it. That's the goal, guys. That is the goal. I want everybody to be in this business. It's such a good business to be in. I'll even tell you guys where my anger started with 9 to 5. I used to work at a office long time ago, and the office was very bland. I mean, no color. I mean, there was color and things like that. It was okay for an office job. And then one day we get this email and they're like, hey everybody, guess what? We're going to be doing a complete redesign of the office. It was a call center, which are probably the most miserable places you could possibly work. Even worse, it was a call center for healthcare. So they're like, hey everybody, we're going to do a redesign of the office, and everything is going to look 10 times better and blah blah blah. So I left on Friday, everything was good. I come back on Monday, and they did the redesign, and I swear, they picked out every single bland color they could possibly have chosen. I mean, every kind of gray. It was terrible. And like, that little thing, I was like, alright, because I was already miserable to begin with, and I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. Now, granted, I was working at a dealership at that point, like after that, but you guys kind of get the idea. I'm sure anybody watching can understand that working at a job that makes you absolutely miserable. So, if I can help in any possible way for somebody to kind of leave that, or get, you know, on the road to leaving that, yeah, I'm gonna help you. That's exactly why I always tell everybody, hey, if you have any questions, if you're on the fence, you don't know where to start, send me an email. I know a lot of you are watching this, talk to me a lot personally, like, you know, one-on-one mentorship, like giving you all this advice that I possibly can. And I apologize if it takes me a little bit to respond, but there's a lot of people that I'm responding to, so be patient and I'll be good. I'll get back to you. So here's the finished product. Much better. Back like new. Customer will be super happy with it. Again, it wasn't like super bad. Like the ones that I do get when customers are calling, they're like right at the brink of their warranty, and it looks much worse. Not like to where the light can't escape completely. Like my bad and your bad might be different, but either way, Very, very easy to do. Thanks for watching, guys.